welcome back to my channel. My name is Gems, and on this video I want to take you with me on how to make a dress, which is this is the first time that I'm gonna do this. So this dress is something really easy and simple. It's like a garterized at the top, and then what I'm gonna do is it's like a tie here on the shoulder, and it's just flowy and it's above the knee. So today I've got 3 hours to do this video, and let's see if I'll be able to make it. I'm night shift later, so I need to be in bed around 2 o'clock. It's already, I don't have my clock, but it's already 11 o'clock here in the UK, and yes, let's try this. So by the way, recently I have not been posting any video or making any tutorials, and I'm still doing the sewing. I've been sewing all day and night whenever I'm off, but sometimes I'm taking the video and then I'm not just like posting it. I'm not posting it, I'm not editing it, or I'm like doing the video and then halfway through it I'm gonna like just focus on sewing and not finish the video at all. But this time I told myself I need to like do this dress and do the video of it and share with you how I try and make this dress. Let's see if it's gonna be successful. And also I want to share with you the recent projects that I've been doing. So I made this gathering, like what you call it, shared dress recently, and I feel like I really made a mistake. So what happened with that is I cut the fabric wrong. I cut the fabric really smaller on the top, so when I was trying to wear it, it won't even squeeze on my bum. I really need to like be gentle and then do it very slowly and then breathe in, like I don't know, it didn't really fit, so I will just set it aside. I did two. There's another one, which is this one. I really love this fabric, oh my god, but anyway, it wasn't successful. It was a failure, so I'll just keep them aside because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to mend them if I can. And what else have I been doing? I was also doing a dress for a friend. So this is her dress. So I put sleeve. I already made one for her before, but without sleeve, and this time I put sleeves. I think I just want her to try this first before I do the final stitches, like the lining and everything. And also there is a sheer dress for her, which is this one. So I've added a strap with it. What I'm gonna do with that later is I'm gonna add my label, and then I'm gonna pack it, and then I'll give it to her. And what else? Yeah, I think that's it. So the fabric that I'm gonna use is this one, a stripe, pink and white stripe here. This is part of a bedding. This is a bedding. And then with the sizing, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the sizing that I've used on the description down below, and you can just follow along with it. And with this, you don't need a pattern, you just have to check your size. What we need for this is we need our fabric and we need garter, elastic, that's it. And let's try to do it now because we don't want to waste time. I've got work later and I just wanted to do something, a dress, before I go to bed. So let's try and do it now. So to check your size, you just need to check your chest area. So mine is 31. And then check the length, how long you want your dress to be. So I want mine to be above the knee, around maybe 27 inches. Yeah, I'm happy with that, 27 inches. So I've got my size in here now, what I need to cut. So for the chest, mine is 31. I added seam allowance 2 inches, which it becomes now 33 inches. For the length, I wanted mine to be 27 inches. I'm gonna add seam allowance 8 inches because we're gonna fold it at the top and we're gonna fold it at the bottom, so it will become 35 inches. And for the strap, I wanted it to be 1 inch and then 14 inches for the length so that I can tie it nicely here. So I'm gonna cut my fabric and I'm gonna come back to you, loves. We're gonna stitch the sides first. So first, what we're gonna do is we're gonna stitch it wrong side facing each other. We're gonna trim the edges, and after that we're gonna stitch it again right sides together. I'm gonna do it now. So I've stitched mine, wrong side facing each other. Let me just show it to you. So it's like that. Now what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna trim the edge as close to the stitch as possible, but not cut in the stitches. So that's what we're gonna do. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna iron it, and then I'm gonna stitch it again, right sides together. In that way, we are hiding the seam allowance. I just realized I didn't add pocket. I think I'll just skip it for now. I usually add pockets whenever I make dresses because obviously we all want somewhere where we put our hands. But anyway, I forgot to do it this time, so I'll skip it and then I'll do it later on when I do another trial again. So the next thing we need to do is we need to go back to the ironing board, and then we'll have to fold, I think, we can serge this top if we want to, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to the ironing board and then I'm gonna iron it like this, just a small part of it all the way through the top. I'm doing the top this time, and then after that we're gonna fold it again and iron it around 3 inches. I was thinking of trying to open this side here. I already put mark. I'm thinking of adding pockets, but I don't know. I don't know, loves. I should have thought about it earlier, but it didn't come to my mind. So shall I just leave it without pocket? Now just thinking if I'm gonna add pocket or not is actually wasting my time. I was just trying to figure out where am I gonna stitch it later on. So I'm thinking of putting 2 elastic. My elastic is 1/2 inch. So the next thing we have to do is we need to secure this opening. So remember, we folded it inwards so that we're hiding the seam allowance. We ironed it so that it's nice and flat, and then we fold it again 3 inches, and then we ironed it again, and then it made it like nice and flat. So now we have to stitch this part just to secure it, like just stitch it all around. It should be easy because we ironed it. That's why it's important to iron it, so that when you stitch it, it's nice and flat. If you want to put clips or pins to secure it, it's also good. So I'm gonna put pin on mine, just on the corners. Okay, so that's not bad. The next thing is we need to stitch it again, wherein we can insert our elastic. So if mine is 1/2 inch, I think if we stitch it 1/2 inch, it should be alright. Let me just calculate it first, because usually the elastic will, you know, bend or roll a bit anyway, so we should be alright. Let me just have a look. So if I stitch it 1/2 inch, I'm thinking if I'm gonna add 2 elastic or 3 elastic, I think I'll be happy with 2 elastics. So loves, I'm gonna use this so that I can see how far I need to stitch. So I'm gonna stitch it 1/2 inch around and leave a gap with it so that I can insert the elastic. You know what, loves? I just realized that even though I leave a gap on this part, I don't have any way to insert my elastics. So I think what's gonna happen is I need a way to insert my elastics. So I think if I remove this, this is what I did with the previous dress that I made for somebody else. So I just had a thought with it, and I realized that even though I leave like a space here where I don't stitch it, I don't have any way to insert my elastic. And since I did a clean stitch here on the side, this part, even though I opened this part, I tried it because this is what I did with the previous dress that I made. I just opened this part and insert the elastic there. So it's not gonna work. So what I did is I removed the stitch here at the bottom. I'm thinking that I'm gonna insert the elastic there and then stitch it later on. I hope that works. So this is a thing if you're doing a trial on how you can like sew something or make something. You have to, do a trial and error. I can see Audrey Hepburn there on my calendar. Yeah, you have to like find a way on how you can make them, but you also want, when you make them, you also want to make them in a nice and clean, final stitch. You don't want to just like stitch them and then that's it and it's like a rough finish. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna do another stitch again below it, half an inch again below this last stitch that I made, and I'm gonna leave a gap this part here. I'm gonna leave that open. Where is it? Like this until here, because that's where I'm gonna insert the elastic. I'm gonna do another half an inch, again leave that open, and then I'm gonna do another half an inch below it and then leave that open again. So all the way through I'm gonna leave this part open, and then once I have the elastic, that's the time I'm gonna stitch that close. So let's try and do it. I hope this time it works. Wait, it's nearly 1:45 now. I need to go to bed at 2 o'clock. So I've stitched them. So I've got my, how many? I've got one, half an inch, half an inch, half an inch, and then whatever left here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna insert on the first, I'm gonna number them, 1 and 4. So I've got a number there. So I've got my first one, I'm gonna put an elastic there, second is a blank, and then third is elastic again. I'll think if I need to insert on the last one. And again, I've got an opening here where I will insert my elastic. Now I just want to check my size here again. So even if my size is 31, I still need to put like a really tight size of elastic, otherwise it's gonna be loose. So I just stretch my elastic. Wait, I'll try to use this. So around 28 inches. I need elastic that's 28 inches, and that's what I'm gonna insert, and I'm gonna try it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark it so that I know where's my 28 inches. And then I'm just gonna insert this in that first. I feel like I'm running out of time. I've got work tonight, night shift today. I'm gonna use this and I'm gonna insert it. See how it works. Is it a success or a failure? This is what other people don't realize, when they buy handmade. Well, I am actually one of them before. I was like thinking, oh, it's really expensive. But the time and effort that people does put when creating your clothing, especially when it's handmade, because handmade usually is completely different compare when you buy it from the shop that is fast fashion. So I'm gonna stitch it like that, like maybe 1 inch from each other or half an inch from each other, and I'm gonna seal it and then cut it and do the others. Let me try it. It still look loose. Oh, I should have put the thing here, no? It's still a bit loose. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull it out and then make it a bit tighter. I don't know how much do we need. So I'm gonna insert my second elastic. I'm just gonna put two elastics. So I think I did put around 22 inches from the other one. Just gonna close this. This is around 22 inches. I don't know if it's gonna be. So let's see. Let's see. Remove this thread. And then just try to, stretch it so that it goes inside. And this should be tight enough. Let me try it. I want this to be until here. So I've got like how many inches? 7 inches to fold. So I think I'm gonna stop with this now. It's past 10 past 11, 10 past 1 now, and I told you I've got work tonight, so I think I'm gonna come back with it tomorrow. So also I am thinking that since this is not really like dark color, if I wear this or if I don't wear bra, my chest will be seen. So I am thinking of removing these things, and I'm gonna like turn it upside down, and this will be my bottom part. Remove this elastic and all the threads, the stitches that I've done here, and then I'm gonna start a new one here, and I'm gonna do the elastic here on the top, and I'm gonna fold this 7 inches so that even if I don't wear bra, it's gonna be covered. My upper part will be covered, and I can just wear like a tight shorts or like something that will cover my lower part. So I'm gonna stop with it now. So I'll remove this elastic, and then this will be my bottom part anyway. That should be all right. And yeah, I'm gonna come back with you tomorrow, loves. Hi love! So I just come back from work, and I thought we might as well finish this project before I go to bed. So what I did last night was I just removed the stitches that I made here in between. It's like 3 stitches, 1, 2, and 3. And then I left this upper and the lower, so that means they are secure. This is where I put the elastic yesterday. So I decided that I'm gonna put the elastic on the other side, on the other part of it, this part. So what I did was I ironed this part here, like towards the lining. It's like around 1 centimeter, and then I folded it again around 7 inches and then ironed it so that when I stitch it, it's gonna be flat. So this is where we will insert the elastic so that when we're wearing it, it's like there is a lining on the upper part of our body. So even though we're not wearing a bra or something, nothing will be seen. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna do the same thing like what we did here. So we're gonna stitch it on the top, 1/2 inch from the top. The first stitch will be all the way through, and then after that we're gonna do 3 stitches, 1/2 inch distance from each other, but we're gonna leave a gap there around 2 inches so that we can insert our elastic. And then what we have to do, the last stitch will be here at the bottom just to secure this. But this last stitch, we have to leave the gap again because that is where we're gonna start inserting the elastic. And then later, once we have the elastic, we're gonna seal them all so that they are all secure. So I hope that makes sense. So we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches. So number 1, it's a full stitch around it. The second, the third, and the fourth stitch, it's like 1/2 inch distance with each other. And then we're gonna leave 2 inches gap so that we can insert our elastic. And the last stitch is at the bottom area so that we will seal this opening. But the same thing, we're gonna leave the gap 2 inches, same area where you left the gap in the other 3 stitches, so that we can insert the elastic. And then once we put the elastic, that's the time we can seal them all. So I'm gonna do that. So I've done my first stitch, second which is open, third which is open, and fourth which is open as well. Now I'm gonna do the last one, which is here, to seal this, to close this. So what I'm gonna do with this is when I stitch it, I'm gonna be like putting it on my sewing machine like this. Oops, I dropped my elastic. So I'm gonna put in it like this so that I can see that I'm catching this fabric here. So I've done mine, and I'm just gonna show you. This is the open area. Actually, in the last stitch, I did a bigger opening. So the next thing we have to do is we need to insert our elastic. So when I did this yesterday, what worked with me is, like, example, my chest is 31 inches. I deducted 8 or 9 inches, and that's the elastic that I used. So I think I deducted 9. So it ended up becoming 22 inches. So that's what I'm gonna do. I only am putting 2 rounds of elastic, and I'm gonna seal it. So that's what I'm gonna do now. So now I'm gonna stitch this. This is my mark. I'm gonna stitch them together. So with the straps, we need 4 pieces because we're gonna tie it. So I've got this here. I'm gonna make it a bit thicker, so in case I'm wearing bra, it will cover the bra. So I've got this, which is 3 inches and around 17 inches. So I'll cut this so that I've got 4 pieces. So each of them is 3 inches by 17 inches. I think it's also nice when it's thin. I think I'm gonna make it thin, so I will cut this in the middle. So it'll be 1.5 inches by 17. So what we're gonna do with this is we're gonna turn it right sides together, and we're gonna stitch it on the side. So now it depends with you how thick or thin you want this to be. I'm not gonna seal the top and the bottom because I want to flip it inside out. I'll just like do a little stitch with it later on once it's turned inside out to hide the seams, because I always struggle with this. So I'm doing it now. I'm doing it with the 4 straps. So I've ironed it. Now we have to attach it, or we can actually seal the other end first before attaching it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna fold it like really tiny, and then fold it again, and then stitch it. I'm gonna do that in just on one side, because the other side we're gonna attach it, and then we're gonna fold it with it. So I'm gonna seal this. I'm gonna seal 1, 2, 3, and 4, but only the one part of it, because the other part, the end part, we're gonna attach it to the dress. They are not actually the best one. They are it was so difficult. It's not really the best stitch that I've made. I think if I do this next time, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find some other ways on how I can seal that top area. So anyway, that will do for now, because this is the first time that I'm doing it, so I'm learning. I'm just gonna make them all the same size here at the bottom, so I've trimmed them. Now I'm gonna put them 3.5 inches from the side. So it all depends with you, because remember, I'm gonna stretch later on. So I think I'm happy putting it 3.5 inches from the side. So what we have to do is we need to get this not so clean finish, and then we're just gonna attach it like that. Okay, so it should be facing, so this should be the right side. So like that. So what I did is I am folding it a little bit like that, and then I'm gonna stitch it on the area wherein I've already got like a stitch. So it's gonna go on the second stitch and on the first stitch, and then if you want to stitch it on top here as well, you can stitch it there. So I'm gonna stitch it here on that stitch, same stitch, so that it's not really obvious. Anyway, once you wear it, it won't be obvious whether you stitch it on the area that's got a stitch before or not, because they are all crumpled because of the elastic. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to stitch it here wherein there was a previous stitch, and then do another stitch here on the top wherein there's another stitch. And now you've got your option if you want to stitch it here just to secure it. So make sure that your right side is facing the outer part, and this part wherein you've got like a connection stitch, your seam should be facing your body. And now we are done. Yes, we're done. So just a tip, when you stitch this strap, make sure that you don't you don't include your elastic when you stitch it, because that will restrict our elastic when it comes to, like expanding. So make sure that your elastic is in between that stitch. And I just need to iron this, and I'm gonna try it. So this is the result now. Don't know, can you see it properly, clearly? I love this. The only thing I forgot to put is pocket. I can't see myself. The only thing I forgot to put is pocket. So I think we can do that next time, or you can like adjust it when you do your stitching. And I just love it. You can also wear leggings with it. I'm actually looking at the mirror here. That's a side view. I love how flowy it is. I love it. So Ian and I had just been out in our front garden to take a picture, and I am very, very happy with this result. I really love this dress. I think this is one of the best dresses that I made. I mean, it's really perfect for summer, and also if you are doing your crafts fair, you can actually make one and wear it for your craft fair. So yeah, I love this dress. I really love how it turned out. The only thing is I forgot to add pockets. I know how important the pockets is for us, and yeah, that's the only thing I need to do later on. And I've learned my lesson, so I hope you watch this video first before having a go. I'm gonna put that on my thumbnail because I don't want you to make the same mistake that I've done. So yes, anyway, I'm not wearing the bra this time, and as it's not seen, nothing can be seen there because of the lining that we did there. So yes, I hope you have a go, and I'll see you again next time. Love you loves. Bye.